Hey, happy 11th. This is the Plant-Based Morning Show, and we are back for the last episode of the week, brought to you, like we always are, by Compliment. That's lovecompliment.com, where you can go to get the vegan supplements that our very company makes. So you know they got to be good, because we have all these reasonable opinions and discussions. How could we make a bad supplement, right? Wouldn't really work. Couldn't be. So anyway, that's what you should check out, lovecompliment.com. Okay, I'm adding Doug in here to kick off the discussion. How's it going, Doug? How are you?
Hey, Matt. How's it going? Going great. You know, not only are we intimately involved in the supplements, but or is that what you said? Well, you know, I spent my morning taste testing some things today. You know, that's how intimately involved we are. Yeah.
Wow. What exactly was that? Can't tell yet.
I can't quite reveal that. No, I can't.
Okay.
It's top secret. But yeah, we are involved in every single process, a part of this process, and because we use it, and they're made. They were really, you know, you and Matt originally made.
That's right. You got it. You weren't taste testing corn chips to try to make a healthier version of them, were you?
No, that'll come after. That comes after the show. You know, I have a strict no corn chip before noon policy.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, we'll get into corn chips later on. There's some big news. There is some. All right. So you went skiing last night. You're in one piece. No major injuries to you or family members?
No. We had a great family ski trip. This was our first post-school take everybody to the mountain trip, and it went really well. Like surprisingly well. I wasn't sure if they'd be too tired by the end of it, and you know, once it got dark and cold and stuff, but it was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, right.
And Eliza now, like, you know, she skis on her own and does her thing. You can actually ski, you know, together and all that kind of stuff. So it's just really fun. So it's a fun family activity. Not a cheap one, but a fun one.
Yeah. No, not cheap. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just a daunting to me to go with the kids. I just remember the production of getting suited up to go out in the snow when I was a kid skiing, and it was just like this huge thing. So to be on the other end of that, I mean, even getting the kids out the door for a snow day, for me, it was just a nightmare. But I mean, that's why I didn't do much of it. Aaron, thankfully, took that over. You're right.
I've gotten pretty efficient. I've tried to get pretty efficient with like pre-packing things, bringing lots of snacks and like candy for the lift ride, you know, when things start to fall apart, but also like, I don't know, just because I've taken Eliza a lot, like one-on-one, and we've gotten our system down, which adding a 3-year-old adds an entirely new element, but it's fun. I mean, it's well worth it because it's just so cool to like now to be able to ski with her and have fun with it and not like have to teach her, but like be skiing with her. And so, you know, once we're all 4 doing that, it's gonna be awesome.
I haven't looked into the like critical injury death statistics with skiing, and it seems like that as someone who, you know, doesn't do activities that involve really just crazy risk like road biking, you think I would have looked this up before? No, but you know I haven't, because I don't know anyone who's ever had a ski accident except for like the famous Sonny Bono accidents. But I can count 20 people who've had cycling accidents. So that's why that's you do not do that activity. But skiing, it seems like kind of a dangerous thing for me to do, but I don't know why I do it. I think that's
you know what's interesting is helmets are like everybody just wears helmets now. Like there was I don't remember any
helmet?
Like a ski helmet.
Isn't it a helmet?
Helmet. HELMET.
Okay. You're saying like ski hill, like a helmet.
Helmet. I don't know.
I've never heard anyone pronounce that.
Commented on that before.
All right.
But
whatever.
You know,
so they are making
out of nowhere. Everybody just started wearing helmets. Is that how you say it? Helmets.
Yeah, helmet. Yeah, I noticed that when I went skiing for the first time in must have been 15 years or something like that, when we went a couple years ago, out in Colorado for our team thing. And you know what? I actually had done it another time too. I forget when it was, but I noticed exactly that. And I thought I should have had that as a kid. I would have done like every other, like any kid I think who skis a lot when they're younger. I was all into the jumps. Like that was the best part of skiing.
Yeah, totally.
And if I'd had a helmet, I would have been much safer, and I probably would have been willing to try more stuff. and it would have been good. Like, why not wear a helmet when you're doing that?
Totally, yeah. And for the kids anyway, the reason I like to wear them is not because they're going off jumps, but because I'm just afraid some 40-year-old man's going to come plowing down, just crush them.
Right.
That's
actually,
the bigger risk.
I'm pretty sure I wore one in Colorado, right? Did we just get them when I?
Yeah, I think that when you rented skis, they just came with it now.
Yeah, that's good. Helmets are good. Why would you not wear a helmet when you do that kind of stuff? All right. Good. So let's see. I found an article today that is nice to talk about now because I think it was yesterday, we were talking about the New Year's resolution fail date, which is pretty much any day you want in January. You will find someone saying that's the day when the resolutions fail. Well, this one from Best Life Online. Now, this is according to Strava, their 2019 data. It says over 70% will fail by January 19th.
How does Strava have data on New Year's resolution fail dates?
Well, I was just thinking maybe they're a good source of that. Like, maybe they surveyed people and asked that. And then, like, if they just knew the average New Year's resolution of their audience, actually, it's not going to be the same resolution. So that'd be hard to quantify. But maybe they can just notice a major drop off on that. By that day, I don't know. That's actually a good point. How do they know that? That sounds tricky, but that's how these all are. We never know what they mean. That's why there's so much flexibility.
Right.
But it's always that end of January time, 3 weeks into January or so.
Yeah, I mean,
they're done.
I mean, logically it makes sense, right? I mean, people get excited about stuff and then realize it's hard.
And that's about how long it lasts, right? I mean, for me, if I try something new and it's difficult, I'm going to make it a couple weeks and then I'm going to quit. So anyway, we've got a week till that point. So if you're faltering a little bit, might be the time to get serious. Or you can do what Dan Buettner says. And so Dan Buettner is I don't want to say pessimistic, but he doesn't think much of like the habit change, I'm going to change my life kind of ideas. We first discovered this when we had him on No Meat Athlete Radio. I think it must have been like 2016. And his Blue Zones of Happiness was out. And at the end of the interview, I asked him, I said, like, what's one thing, or what are 3 things that our audience could take away here and actually do after hearing this, if they're inspired? And he basically said, like, whatever it is, it's not going to work. Like, it's just not. Because people don't make habits last and they don't make changes. And he's mostly right. Like, it's not nice to hear that because you like to think that you're the exception, but he's mostly correct, right? If you think about people who want to change their stuff, especially around health, they just don't. So he said, like, move to a new neighborhood where you encounter people all the time, or, move to an area where, the other people around you eat healthily. Like he said, that's how you actually change. And it's, not very practical for most people to do that. But he says that's
did you do
the
that
real way
when
to
you
change.
Like, do you feel like you picked a neighborhood that
Yeah, I remember we had a whole episode about it, a whole No Meat Athlete Radio episode about how I had all these Blue Zones factors. Yeah, it was important. I mean, we tried to find a place where that would be conducive to that. Yeah, not that I do it. I don't know. Now and then with the dogs.
Good.
Why would I leave the house?
Without a helmet on.
Without a helmet. Yep. Sid Garza helmet. I'm going to start calling him. All right. Anyway, what Dan says. So here's his resolution. This is on Best Life Online, so it's got to be good because that's a good journalistic site that we all know and love. Here's his New Year's resolution, and I kind of like this. I mean, part of me doesn't, but part of me really does. And he said, and Dan Buettner, by the way, is the Blue Zones author. He's got the Netflix Blue Zones series, and he's got a new book out. I forget what it's called, but it's a new Blue Zones book.
Live to 100. Oh no, that was the series. Yeah,
that was the series. The new one is, I don't know. I'll look it up in a minute. But here's his resolution. It's pretty easy. He says you just do it for January. First of all, that's a novel idea, right? Just have January be your resolution period, and we've kind of done that. Last year, I did the 1 month of working out every day and the no fake meats, and it worked well. Whereas if I'd said a whole year, it probably wouldn't have. Right. So just make it a month. And further, he says you're only doing something on Sunday, except for maybe planning. What you're doing is making 3 different recipes each Sunday. So 12 new recipes by the end of your month of January with your family. They got to be healthy, and you got to cook them. So he says if you do this, at the end, you'll have achieved 3 things. You now have the skills to cook 12 meals. you'll have the hardware to cook those because you'll have cooked them. So I guess that means he wants you to go out and buy some stuff to make some of these things, like buy the cookware.
Yeah. Right.
And you'll have the experience of tasting them. And he doesn't mention the experience of the time with the family. I guess it's not really about the actual moments you're creating as much as if you've now eaten some healthy food, you're likely to do it again later if you've had that experience of tasting those healthy meals.
He's like ripped the Band-Aid off on that recipe.
Right.
Not as difficult to try again. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And maybe not that hard to try making new stuff again. Now you realize that you can do that. And then he says, as long as you get to 4 to 5 meals that you like that are whole food, plant-based, you're on your way to eating to 100 years old, of course. So I guess the point is eventually you pick the winner, you pick find the keepers, and eventually you've got some winners that you can kind of rely on. And so I think it's good. I mean, I think this is a nice thing that a lot of people could commit to, right? And that's the main appeal to me. Someone who just has failed over and over at getting healthy, like they could probably do this.
Yeah.
Would it actually make a difference? I don't really know. But if your whole family does it, it's very easy to imagine see this continuing. It's into future Sundays and maybe even spreading into the week a little bit.
I like it a lot. It feels like a small step, but something that you could actually, that could potentially result in something, and is maybe a little bit more of a commitment than drinking an extra glass of water a day or something that's,
Right. So I think what's kind of interesting about it compared to the other because when we think small steps, usually we think drink a glass of water a day,
right,
or go run for 2 minutes,
right.
And you just do this relatively boring, seemingly non-impactful thing, but it's just so easy that you think you'll be able to do it. But sometimes I think the really simple things to do are so easy not to because they're just so inconsequential that it's just easy to forget or just not do it. But this is actual work, right? Like on Sunday when you're making 3 meals,
right.
That's a large step in that moment compared to most of the habit advice that I think is good. So, but you're only doing it once a week. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's like having a meatless Monday if that were your thing for the month. I think that would be a very similar type of resolution here. This maybe sounds a little less daunting than that to someone doesn't want to be vegetarian or vegan. But I think it's good. I think this is a cool idea.
Yeah, I do too. Do you remember what his advice was in Plantapalooza? His one tip, one takeaway, most impactful thing you could do?
No, I do not.
It was to ditch your unhealthy friends. Basically, get new friends that or live a more healthy lifestyle that you aspire to be, and then you will as well.
That sounds like his advice. That's what he likes to say, and he's probably right. Like that is the way to really make the change. You just almost have no option then to change, right? If you're now around people who have this different lifestyle, you're probably going to take on a lot of that lifestyle. But I mean, who wants to get rid of their friends? It's just like
right, exactly. And who wants to make new friends? I mean, like that's really hard, right? Like, everybody wants to make new friends, but like, actually actively doing it is very difficult.
Yeah, super hard. Yeah. So his advice goes in an interesting category for me. His habit change advice, but this one I really like. It's good. All right, let's say hi to people we haven't yet. I saw the familiar names. I saw some like buttons being smashed. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Hudnall, Britters, Sarah Slim, Phyllis Hauser, Mr. Jeffrey, Amory Dube, KDK Rivercat, and then more of the same. Lori Stevens, Dale Stevens, no Garuda Legends today, which is
not yet.
I don't know, might be kind of a quiet, calm chat window without Garuda in there stirring the pot.
Mr. Jeffrey says, let's see, in all my cooking experiences, I never saw the value of meal prepping since I can make food pretty quickly and easily. But I meal prepped for the first time last week, and it has been life-changing. Wow. What did you do?
That's interesting because I've always been the same. I've always said, there's all these bloggers out there telling you do all your prep on Sunday and put all your chopped stuff in the fridge. But like, I've just never maybe tried it once or twice and it just didn't last. It just didn't seem that helpful. So I'm actually very curious as to what you're talking about, Mr. Jeffrey, and how that worked. I like that. We do some of this prep way in advance, the salad vegetables, and leave that for the week. And then you can just toss things in with the lettuce. We definitely eat more salads when we do that. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
My mom was yesterday asking me about the like button. She didn't know where to find the like button. And I didn't know if that was a my mom problem or is that everybody's problem when you're on YouTube watching.
It's a thumbs up. It's just a thumbs up button. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. You want to avoid the
Okay.
thumbs down on these videos and smash the thumbs up.
Yeah. But Mom, you don't actually smash it. You don't need to smash. You just press with your finger. That's all that means. I didn't see it's fine. In the screenshot you sent, I didn't notice the thumb thing in there. Otherwise, I would have immediately responded and said, "Come on, it's the thumb. That's what the likes is." But I didn't see it, so I don't know. I wondered if maybe like when you're watching a live stream on YouTube, is it not quite as obvious where it is? I don't know, but I think most people could figure that out. Most people will figure it
out. Let's see. Anne Marie says the Blue Zone Secrets of Living Longer. That's his new book. Is that right?
Yes, that is the new book. Yep, I have it. I have it on my coffee table, and I haven't even read it. It just sits there on my coffee table. Make people think that I'm healthy. I didn't read it because it's
firing off the jokes today.
Is he? I saw the one about the helmet.
The helmet, is it a helmet if it's worn on the slopes? And then also, is this article from this year, this time? Well, throwback to yesterday.
Hey, that wasn't our fault. That was Veggie News' fault. And I checked today. They left it out. They haven't taken that article down yet. Then I wondered, is it a repurposing? Did they just repurpose? And when they said, did they choose their phrases carefully so as not to say, I'm talking about Veggie News, not Buzz or whatever that place was, Grubhub. Yeah. Did Veggie News just sort of put the same article up, mention it again, but sort of change a few words to, not be wrong, but just act like this was kind of new? I don't know. Mr. Jeffrey here says, I made 24 breakfast Sammys and frozen them for the morning. So that's kind of different. I was thinking more like prepping all your ingredients ahead of time so you can just grab the onions or whatever and throw them in the pan instead of actually making meals that can freeze. I've done it with soups, and it works pretty well when you make a giant batch of soup and then save some for later and freeze that. I haven't really done.
Dan's suggesting, though, what Mr. Jeffrey is talking about, which is make 3 meals on a Sunday. I assume freeze them or put them in the fridge.
I thought he just meant eat them. I didn't even see them putting them away. I thought he was just saying make 3 and you have
why would you make 3
dinner.
meals? Why would you make 3 meals?
Well, 3 recipes. So you'd make like a side, a regular thing, and a starch or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
No, because he later does say the skills to cook 12 meals. So he first says recipes, then later he calls them meals. So I'm not sure. It's odd that they don't really mention that. Yeah, I don't know. They don't tell you when to do that. Oh yeah, it says the flexibility.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
It says you can either prep multiple meals on Sunday for the rest of the week or simply use that day to bookmark 3 new recipes you want to make at some point during the week. So that's interesting. I don't like that as much. Anyway, okay. What's the advice to my mom?
Phyllis, to your mom, you have to close the chat window to see the thumbs up button. There you go.
Yeah, Mr. Jeffrey said the same thing. If you watch on mobile, you have to minimize the chat. So there we go, Mom. That's what you got to do.
Speaking of minimizing things, what people should really do after they smash the like button is minimize this screen. Head over to vegnews.com, vote in the Veggie Awards for Plant-Based Morning Show, Best Podcast. Question number 32.
There you go. We can win. I think we can do it.
I think we can do it. If I say it every day for the month that they're alive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do
Would we get more people than vote for Rich Roll who just go random Veg News people who are just doing the survey, didn't get sent there by anything, and they see Rich Roll and they're like, click that one. We're not going to beat that. There's no way. We might be able to get second, though. Maybe we'll get a runner-up trophy or something.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, I guess we need to get to our weather report, and the only reason I'm hesitant is because I plugged in my computer for the sounds, but I didn't actually open it and log in and all that. So chances are, it does work. Here we go. Okay, never mind. We got sound for the weather report. It's a good Thursday. We never play that Friday song anymore. Remember that good thing we used to do? Got everyone all pumped up.
Yeah, we should do that more often.
Now,
man, you're just. But it's not Friday. We got any Thursdays.
There's another YouTube video. Okay. Well, the thing is, the vast majority of people who hear this episode will hear it on Friday when I put it up tomorrow morning. So
good point.
Those people.
Good point. So it is Friday for most people. All right, there you go.
Yeah, happy Friday. All right. Bitter says, if you win, can we make PBMS coffee beans a thing? This is that idea of partnering with some company to roast a plant-based morning show blend, right?
Yep.
You mentioned this before. Okay. I guess it didn't really make sense to me before. Now I get it. It's a morning thing. This show is for mornings. So it would make sense to have our own coffee thing. That's kind of cool.
Matt, I mean,
olive oil coffee was in the thing yesterday. The Grubhub news thing that was outdated. They said olive oil. They said it's not just Starbucks. People are doing that. It's like the new bulletproof coffee. But a whole year went by when apparently that was the new trend, and I didn't see it once. So I don't know if that really was a trend. But that could be our thing. It could be olive oil laced coffee beans.
We could just. I don't know about that. What if we just had coffee and then we had recipes? We offered people an olive oil coffee download.
Right. There you go. All right. I like it. Okay. Let's get to seriousness here, which means if you're just one of those people who hangs out for the chat, it's time for you to sign off because you don't like the vegan part when we get to the weather report. So go ahead and do that. Thank you for joining us up until now. Here we go. This is big. I wouldn't want to sign off and miss this one. New research is the first to scour water bottles for nanoplastics, says Morning Brew. And that comes at the exact same time or the one day later as there was this big dust up about microplastics in our food, in protein sources, not just seafood, included chicken, beef, tofu, and all the alt meats, all of them. Just, I think 80% plus of the products have high levels of these microplastics in them. Actually showed up in 84 of the 85 foods that Consumer Reports tested where they found that. So the vegan, you're not out of the woods by not eating meat. It's also in the water bottles. So if you get those water bottles, you're also getting plastics. Nanoplastics are small enough to enter the bloodstream, breach cell walls, pass into a fetus, all kinds of good stuff. And let's see. I mean, they give you numbers of particles. A 1 liter bottle of water can have 110,000 to 370,000 plastic particles. And that's doesn't sound good. So I don't. When I heard this, my mom actually sent it to me. I wrote back and I said, "What are we supposed to do?" This to me is the 5G thing. Where 5G aside, I know it's a dumb conspiracy theory, but like all the electronic waves, and you think like we're just surrounded now by Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and like you just can't live in any kind of normal way and not be exposed to that. Now it's in our food. Same with the food and plastic. You just can't do anything else. Like, I don't even know if you go grow your own food and only eat that if you can avoid this.
Maybe it's in the soil. It's in the water. It's everywhere. I mean, so there's you've probably heard this stat, but I just Googled it to find it. A recent study led by the University of Technology, Sydney, has found that humans might inhale approximately 16.2 bits of microplastics each hour, or the equivalent of a credit card per week.
So that's just in the air, breathing.
Inhale makes it sound like the air. Yes, I don't know, but so I've heard consume a credit card a week is kind of what I've heard many times.
I've heard that as well too, and maybe I wonder if this new stat will update that to like I don't know what's another big plastic thing, laminated piece of paper.
Do you know what I've seen recently is I first saw this in California, but then I've seen it in a couple other places. Is Dasani has like aluminum bottles now? Have you seen this?
I don't think I've seen that. No, I thought aluminum was bad for us too.
It might be. I mean, or whatever. Is beer an aluminum can? Yeah,
I think those are aluminum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but that's good. Maybe it's better. I mean, eventually they're going to find some substance that water doesn't leach very well, so that'd be good.
It's better. I would think. I don't know for sure before I say this, but I would assume that it's better for the environment, and then probably better, for the microplastic issue.
Right. Probably. Good. Well, hopefully someone will figure that out soon. All right. Next news. This is kind of interesting. VFC Foods, which has been around before. They're the thing that sounds like KFC, and they're more in the UK, or maybe only in the UK. They make vegan chicken. They've rebranded as the Vegan Food Group. And you will recall that they acquired Meatless Farm. They basically saved Meatless Farm when they were distressed and ready to go out of business. May have even declared bankruptcy. I'm not sure. But they kind of stepped in, acquired the company, and saved Meatless Farm, at least temporarily. But here's what I didn't know about that VFC, and now called VFG, Vegan Food Group. The brand was formed by Chef Adam Lyons, who I don't know, and Veganuary founder Matthew Glover, whose name I see all the time now in the different news things because Veganuary seems to be growing in popularity. I mean, obviously, it's growing in popularity, but it seems to be growing in mainstream awareness of it based on the amount of articles that come out around January with it. So I just didn't know he was involved in any kind of like for-profit stuff related to veganism. great spot to be in. I mean, to be the Veganuary founder and then, parlay that into some kind of brand that's designed to spread the movement. So it's cool. I don't quite get it. Basically, the news is that they announced that not only do we have this new name, but we're looking to become a vegan Unilever, he said. We're poised to be leading force in the plant-based sector, not just participating in the market, leading the movement. So they're basically saying we're awesome and we're going to change this whole world.
I mean, that's what every like company press release is going to be. I mean, you read that and you're like, okay, how? What are you going to do?
Right.
I mean, but that's
for me, it's like go do it, and then I'll be impressed.
Come up with something really great. I mean, no shade on these guys. Every company does that, but I mean, it seems kind of weird, but
it just doesn't seem like really that newsworthy. Although I put it in the news, they changed one letter at the end of their name, and now they're going to take over the world.
Is Veganuary a business?
It's probably a nonprofit, I would guess. Okay. It's Veganuary.org, which isn't. No, it's not. It's .com. Not that it matters. I don't think anyone can be whatever they want. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, good. Absolutely, like you said, I don't wish them bad luck. I hope it works out. Great. Mm-hmm. I just would rather hear about that then. All right, this one's kind of exciting. The Laughing Cow, who has released these dairy-free alternatives over in the UK, is now available at United States markets across the United States. The thing that actually specifically is available is the plant-based. The Laughing Cow plant-based in garlic and herb flavor. That's the official name of the whole thing. It's the garlic and herb spreadable cheese. I think it's like the Boursin cheese, although it's not the same as the plant-based Boursin cheese, but it kind of looks like that. It just looks like a spreadable cheese you put on crackers. People were excited when Laughing Cow stuff came out. Those wedges, I think maybe it's related to that Bell group. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. But people are excited about this. I'm going to try this. I predicted, you will recall, at the start of the year, end of last year, that there was one of these cheeses was going to come along, and we were going to suddenly say, all the other cheeses don't matter anymore because this one is way better than everything else. I don't think this is that because, Miyoko is already doing this. But I'm optimistic about the plant-based cheese. I'm bullish on plant-based non-cow, non-bull cheese. That's two things in a row I've been bullish on. 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I was about to say that. What was the other thing? I can't remember.
Sam. I turned bullish on Sam. Turnbull.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Is that your new favorite word? We use that word a lot around the office.
Bullish, so. Yeah. Well, Bitcoin, all that stuff, it's in the news. ETF. All right, what do you got here, Doug? In response to this.
I know. I mean, I think I've had the Laughing Cow cheese a couple times, and I thought it was great.
Oh, you have? Wedges. Where'd you get
wedges? Probably Whole Foods or something. Or maybe not, if it just says it's just now available.
No, it's just this new flavor is available. I think the wedges were out.
Yeah. I haven't had this new flavor, but of course.
Okay. But I'm also a little confused because I read that this thing is available in individually portioned wedges. So I think this might be just the same thing. Are these wedges you're talking about, are they spreadable cheese?
Yeah, they're soft. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is basically that.
They come in like a circle of like wedges, to make a little pie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just the same stuff as all the other cheese, right? It's just like fake plastic stuff in there.
I don't actually know. I'm not sure. Okay. I don't know. It all runs together.
Probably not plastic.
I mean, there probably is plastic in there, but maybe not.
It's not made from plastic. Right. All right, moving on.
Is vegan.
All right, not moving on. That's right. What's up?
Those like wax rounds, those little red cheese things.
That's out. That's the Bell company.
Oh, that's the Bell company. They make vegan versions of that?
Yeah. I don't know if it's available in the United States. Baby Bell plant-based. Yeah, in the USA. I don't know where it is.
That's what
we had it once and got it, and it wasn't good. It wasn't
good.
It's like if you put diet cheese into a circle and wax.
Man, I used to love those things as a kid. That would be like road trip snacks, hiking snacks.
Yeah. Right.
That kind of thing. It'd be perfect for a ski trip.
I always thought string cheese was the best snack you could eat when I discovered it and got it. And it was just the best. It was just a life changer. So I would love if they came out with a good vegan version of that was made out of healthy stuff. But they won't.
Yeah. They do make vegan ones, but they're not healthy.
Oh, do they? Do they still string like that?
I can't remember. Probably not. But just like a cheese stick like that. They definitely make a vegan cheese stick.
Okay. All right. Now we're moving on. Meaty foods. They have expanded. They are now in super Target stores across the United States, and that means they're going to be increasing from 3,000 to 8,000 retail stores by the summer of 2024. Meaty is this one that is made from mycelium, which is the roots of mushroom things. Not the actual mushrooms, a different substance even than that. And it makes some pretty texturally accurate steak and chicken that I've tried. Some people have an allergy or something that makes them sick from it, but I don't know. I think it's kind of a good thing. This is good. That's different from Beyond and Impossible. It's not just the same thing. So right. I think it's a good idea. So glad to see that. And finally, Doug, here's the one you'll be glad to see for sure. Hain Celestial and their garden veggie brand. So I didn't recognize this name until I saw the packaging and realized that this is the company that makes those veggie straws, those like multicolored things that I think they just make from potato, dried potato, whatever that would be.
Notoriously healthy snack, the veggie straw.
Yeah, right. So it's like those green and yellow and red. Yeah. Everyone gets, you see, if you have kids, you've seen them before for sure. Anyway, they're taking aim at the $9 billion tortilla chip category with this better for you offering. They say the Hain top Hain executive says it's very serious and adult focused. I'm kind of mixing up words here. He said only 8% of that segment is considered healthy, of that giant market segment. And those who are healthy, they're in this very serious and adult focused diet options like keto and low calorie. But then on the other hand, the big ones, PepsiCo's Doritos and Tostitos, they're not healthy at all. So they're saying there's this middle that isn't quite so serious about dieting, but also isn't just Doritos. And that's what they would enter. So that's what the garden veggie is going to sit. And they've got two flavors, Zesty Ranch, that sounds like Doritos to me, and Nacho Cheese, also sounds like Doritos. They're going to contain, Doug, spinach, beet, red bell pepper, carrot, and tomato, which sounds like the colors of the other stuff, and it looks like those veggie straw colors as well. So I don't know. My question is how much actual corn is in these things. They do have non-GMO corn, no artificial flavors or preservatives. So that's all sounds pretty good. But will they actually be a tortilla chip, or will it be something that's like that weird potato starch substance? Yeah. That's what I don't know. I mean, it's corn. It's not, I don't see mention of potato anywhere. So I think this is going to be a corn chip laced with vegetables. Are you in or are you out, Doug?
I'm out.
Without even trying it.
Why would anyone destroy the corn chip by adding any sort of flavor to it? You're a pizza purist. You're a pasta purist.
They're not adding flavor. Well, I guess, they're adding flavor.
What do you mean they're not adding flavor?
But it's because you don't like Doritos. So this is your same argument goes for why you wouldn't eat Doritos, because you don't think it needs to be in Cool Ranch.
A corn chip just needs to be a fried corn chip with some salt on it. You're good to go.
Okay. All right. Well, I do understand that. I'm a purist like you. I wouldn't really want added flavors in my food, even if they're coming from something else. But what if they come out with a new version that is just like classic original corn flavor, and it's still multicolored with spinach, beet, red bell pepper, carrot. So it might have a little bit of taste of those things, but it's not trying to be nacho cheese flavor or zesty ranch flavor. Would you give that a go if you knew it was laced with vegetables?
I mean, if I'm being totally honest, I think that veggie straws are just straight up health washing, greenwashing, whatever you want to wash. Right. Like they're not healthy at all, right? So it's like such minuscule amounts of that stuff. So why would I pay a little extra for just micro doses of beets? I don't know, but
yeah.
So I mean, maybe I would try it. Maybe it'd make me feel a little bit better about what I'm eating, but probably not. It's still a corn chip base. Might as well just eat a plain old corn chip. Yeah,
still fried in oil, which is I think probably it's arguable, but that's probably the worst part of corn chips.
Yeah.
So here's an example that's already on the market. Those like quinoa and chia laced corn chips. Those things. Do you ever buy those and say this is a little bit healthier choice? You just don't. You stay away from that.
I don't think they taste as good. They don't give me the same satisfaction.
Okay, that's probably what you run into with this. Then it probably just won't taste as good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, we don't know if they're vegan. Zesty Ranch and nacho cheese do not sound like vegan flavors. So it's very possible these will not be for us anyway.
Good point. But, but like, I don't know. I'm not particularly attracted to nachos. I mean, not nachos. I am very much attracted to nachos, to Doritos.
Right.
But but if there was a vegan, like slightly healthier version of a Dorito, there might be a time and place for it. So
yeah,
but
well, there
but
is
it's
that. It's
not
healthier.
something.
There is vegan Doritos, sweet chili
something.
Yeah. The
Mm-hmm.
purple bag.
Which I honestly don't think I've ever had. Like I've never, even though I know that one is vegan, I don't think I've ever been like, oh, I'm gonna get that today.
Right. You know what? I like, since I understand completely this purism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you would like it. You'd say this is good, but it doesn't do for me what a plain old corn chip does.
Yeah.
Which has that just corn flavor. It's not the same. It's a different snack. So I do understand you. I get where you're coming from here. One of the few things.
Matt. Finally,
I know this, and your Christmas movie reviews were spot on this year.
Yeah.
Actually, one of them wasn't at all. I watched one and I hated it. After I didn't bring this up later, I forgot to. You recommended another one.
Yep, I remember recommending to you. Oh, the Hanukkah one,
the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Yeah, you didn't like that?
Terrible. I hated that movie. It had nothing to do with the fish. I just thought it was the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen. It had none of what I want out of a Christmas movie at all.
Well, I told you that. To be fair, I told you that it was a movie that was set in Christmas.
Okay, so you're accurate, but I didn't like it at all.
Okay, fair enough. Here's the real breaking news that came from this press release about the garden veggie products. Is that there was in 2023 there was a double-digit increase in the tortilla chip market.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Right, I meant to bring that up. That's huge. Pretty big.
Why are people not talking about that?
At least 10% growth. I don't know. And what would have caused that? I mean, that's pretty big growth,
plant-based
right? Unless
show,
it's
obviously.
Or it could be just inflation. I mean, maybe inflation was like 8% of that, and then the rest was a little bit slight bump. Maybe the morning show, yeah.
The Doug Hay effect.
Maybe. There's a lot of inflation, a little bit of Doug Hay, and that's how we got double-digit growth in corn chip sales.
That's true.
All right, before we move on to our...
It doesn't say if it's revenue or...
It's probably revenue. Just I think those things usually are. Anyway, a couple of updates here from the audience. Lori Stevens said... People were trying to find the Baby Bell. Mr. Jeffrey asked if it's in Costco. Erin Frazier, my wife, chimed in and says vegan Baby Bell is in Target. And Kate, aka River Cat, is going to look there. I guess Kate was looking for them. And then Lori Stevens asked if anyone has tried meaty. And I tried meaty. Bianca tried meaty. Bianca threw up from it. I didn't throw up from it. I thought the chicken was like almost off-putting, how it just had this smell of like boiled chicken. And the texture was very soft. I don't know. It was pretty accurate. So if you're looking for that very authentic sort of thing, I think it's a good choice. And the steak, I had their carne asada steak cut thing. That was excellent. And I just couldn't believe it had no fat. It was satisfying in the way that a steak used to be. Wasn't gross or anything like that. It wasn't bloody, none of that. And it's just like, if they found a way to put fat in that thing, or if I were to cook it in fat, I think it would be so good. I haven't gotten it since then. I don't know why, but I just thought it was pretty good.
So that's a pretty big endorsement there.
Yeah, that's why I was all excited about it. And then Bianca got it and puked all night after she ate it. So then I felt bad. But that's not my fault.
No, it's not.
All right, on to our big hard-hitting article today. This is the one. It's from plantbasednews.org, and the headline is "An Obnoxious Luxury. Mark Zuckerberg criticized for new, quote, beef farm." And I don't know why they're quoting beef. I think maybe just because it's a vegan site. We can't even say beef without putting it in quotes, like mocking it. I don't know. Subheadline: Raising cows on his 1,500-acre estate will massively increase Mark Zuckerberg's carbon footprint. So here's the deal. For the record, I don't think this is that serious of a topic, but it's a Thursday show, so that's why we're doing it. It's fun. Here's what's going on. He's raising cows for quote unquote beef at his 1,500-acre estate in Kauai, Hawaii. Why are they doing that? Why are they putting that in quotes? I've never. Oh, maybe they don't say beef. There's someone who doesn't say beef or pork. They don't call meat by that name. Right? You know that attitude?
No, because it's animal, because it's life.
Yeah, they're not going to dignify this by saying, or not,
right.
maybe it's out to dignify the production, but also
Unless it's beyond beef.
In that case, maybe different, because that's not actually beef; it's beyond it.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So they're raising cows for that substance at his 1,500-acre estate in Hawaii. He put this on Instagram. He says, "We want the whole process to be local." Let me just find the Instagram post and I'll read it for you. It shows Mark at his, I assume it's his place. It looks like a really nice place on the beach in Hawaii. He says, started raising cattle at the Koalu Ranch in Kauai, and my goal is to create some of the highest quality beef in the world. The cattle are Wagyu and Angus, and they'll grow up eating macadamia meal and drinking beer that we grow and produce here on the ranch. We want the whole process to be local, vertically integrated. Each cow eats 5,000 to 10,000 pounds of food per year, so that's a lot of acres of macadamia trees. My daughters help plant the mac trees and take care of our different animals. We're still early in the journey, and it's fun improving on it every season. Of all my projects, this is the most delicious. And then it shows him with this giant steak in front of, I mean, he has a normal portion, but there's this huge steak thing in front of him in the middle of the table. And people are mad. Well, I mean, 345,000 people liked it, so they're not mad. But apparently people are angry in the comments. They don't like this. I mean, the thing that first raised an eyebrow for me was the beer. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was like a prank college thing that people fed beer to dogs and stuff. But I looked it up, and that's what Wagyu cows drink to get I think it stimulates their appetite or something. It's part of the production of this Wagyu beef, and it's started in Japan, I think. So he said we grow and produce. They're brewing the beer then on the ranch?
That's what it sounds like.
Seems like a lot of work. I mean, just to, I don't know, to make the beef. Anyway, so I mean, I don't know, Doug. Is this just a ridiculous, horrendous decision by him to do this?
I mean, it seems weird, I guess, but
it does seem weird. It seems like a weird branding. I guess not. I was thinking that he's trying to appeal to I
mean, he just does whatever.
Aren't these companies right? But these companies, the big tech, right? Aren't they generally considered a sort of liberal thing? And when I saw this, I was like, well, he's going to create a whole bunch of fans among those people who are like into this stuff. But that's like not the people who are into the environment. And I just think the tech vibe is generally not this. So that seems sort of weird to me. People are angry about I mean, he's bragging that each cow eats 5,000 to 10,000 pounds of food each year. Right. That's the very problem, right? Like we could instead use the food and just eat the food or distribute the food or whatever. And then instead of, relatively small amount, I think someone said, this is an obnoxious luxury where for every 100 calories of meal fed to these cattle, he'd only get about 3 calories back in beef. So it's just a, wasteful thing, as we know about beef production. Anyway,
it's uber rich man creates uber expensive beef for his uber rich friend. That's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I doubt his motivation here is I want to try to make a bunch of money with this.
Right. There's no way he's gonna just be able to produce that many cows, right? I wouldn't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess they didn't say the amount. I kind of figured this was a massive amount of cows being used here, but that wouldn't really make much sense. He did previously cause a stir around meat eating when in 2011 he said he'd basically become a vegetarian after claiming to only eat animals he's killed himself. So I mean that stance I love. I think if that was everyone's kind of thing, was I'm just going to be vegetarian unless I go kill something myself, then I'll eat it. A very natural way to exist, and I'd be all right with that. This is very different from that. Why, Doug, in the picture does he have that disc on top of his water glass?
That's all right. So that's all right. I was waiting until we were done with this conversation. So I get controversy here and I'm throwing this up on the screen, is the fact that he has the coaster on top of his glass of water and not underneath it.
Right. Does he just not know that that's not what it's for?
I didn't even know to use a coaster.
So. Here's what I thought. I thought maybe when even among a gathering of friends, and you can see in the reflection of the thing, there's probably a dozen people there, at least on this part of the table. Maybe he's worried about someone trying to poison him. and he just constantly has that so that no one would walk by and drop something in there.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
I mean, I actually thought that was my best guess as to why is he doing that? You don't think that's very likely the reason?
I do not think that's very likely. So you said they're at his home. I assume they're at a restaurant because of all the people, but maybe it is his home. And I was thinking maybe they like had water glasses out and they put that on top for bugs not to get in, or like debris in the air if it's sandy or dirty or whatever. That's what I was thinking.
That, Doug, is where tapas came from. When the apocryphal sort of story is that some royalty was drinking, and he had to step away from the table, and he said, "Put some bread on top of this wine glass or whatever I'm drinking to cover that, so that nothing can get into it." And then they started making the tapa, the thing that went on top of the glass, more and more extravagant of a snack for the people, and then that's how tapas got made. So maybe that's what he's going for. I mean, that's the story. It's like a legend. It's not like it's
interesting,
known to be true. Yeah. So we don't have any. No verdict on what this is. You don't have any good guess
as to what the thing is on top. That was my good guess.
Why is he doing that?
Funny guess? Emily thinks that
that's your best guess.
The poisoning fear. Emily thinks the poisoning fear makes more sense. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe I have no better guess than bugs and like debris. But it would. I don't see any there's nothing flies on the meat or anything. So
right. Maybe if you're that rich, you just start thinking nothing can enter my body that isn't pure, and you start covering your water up just to keep impurities out. But then what about the other food and stuff? I don't know. Someone points out here, who is it? Lori Stevens says he called it a delicious endeavor, which pissed me off. And that was my part that I liked the least. When he says, of all my projects, this is the most delicious. I think PETA said, every animal someone. This quote, project is killing animals and the planet and is traumatizing for your kids. There are so many other productive things you could do, etc. So yeah, I get that. We're vegetarians, vegans for ethical reasons, a lot of us, and that's of course, that's if you call it a project and it involves animals, it's kind of it's offensive, I guess. But to someone who's not one of us, they'd say that's what do you care if he calls it a project? It's what it is. So I understand where people would be coming from if they don't agree with that, but I don't know.
You read about this, or you shared this plant-based news article about it, and they're like, everyone's criticizing it, lots of backlash, and oftentimes we'll see that from pro-vegan or the other way around, and it's just a handful of people in the comments. But it could be the algorithm, and Instagram. I go to the Instagram post, sure enough, I mean, it really is all people, a bunch of vegans telling them, complaining about it. So I thought, I don't know, I kind of thought that was interesting. It does have 300,000, 350,000 likes, but lots of anti-comments.
Right. Well, that's good. Good, they're visible. Vocal minority. All right, so there you go. There's Zuck. You gonna stop using Facebook, Doug? Or no, you gotta stop using Instagram, right? Isn't that part of Meta now, right?
That is. Nope.
We're gonna stop broadcasting here. Tell people to always go to YouTube instead.
There are better reasons for me to stop using Instagram and Facebook that haven't stopped me yet. So,
right. Well, don't forget, we do in the interest of bashing Meta, we do prefer YouTube for this. Go over to youtube.com/No Meat Athlete, better experience of the show, and you can smash the like button over there. We would appreciate that if you're already there.
And instead of engaging with people on Facebook groups or things like that, head over to the Discord for the Plant-Based Morning Show, nomeatathlete.com/Discord. You can join.
Yes.
Matt's a regular chiming inner.
Yeah, right. I am regular. I stick to once a month regularly. Check in.
It is fun though. People are regular, and it's a good way to connect.
I love that. I really do. Okay, that's it. We're done. The week is finished, at least from our end, at least from this show's end. It was fun. It was a good week. I liked today's show. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for the discussions. Missed Garuda Legends today, so hopefully they listen on the podcast. I don't know, but that certainly makes for a more lively chat. Actually, this was a lot of comments today.
There was a lot of comments today. It was great.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks, everyone. One more reminder: you can go subscribe to the podcast, and you can like it in iTunes if you go or Apple Music. It's just called Plant Based Morning Show. You can look it up, and you can review and all those things, which we don't really ask for much, but always very nice to do. So please, get the show in all the formats you can.
That's right.
All right, that is it. Everyone, enjoy your rest of your Thursday, your Friday, and your weekend, and then your Monday, and then we'll see you on Tuesday.
All right, we'll see you then.